Start this. All right. We are, this is the Green Bay Ethics Board Committee meeting of Thursday, June 8th, 2017. It's at a little after 5:30, call to order. And just for the record, everybody state your name for the record so that it's on the tape. We'll start,
Mark Bolson.
Wahia Tong.
Bill Vandecastle.
Bill Galvin.
Meeting is in order. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is to, or second item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. We have that before us. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion or any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, approval of the minutes of the Ethics Board meeting held on May 22, 2017. I think you all have copies of those minutes. We also have the matter that were a part of those minutes involved Alderman Scannell, and he provided us with proposed changes to the minutes. So any discussion of those proposed changes? And I guess I would just say for the record that I read the minutes when they came through. I didn't see any issues with them, but I wasn't paying particular close attention to them. And I understand in proceedings in the council chamber that when you have minutes, or oftentimes people want to add things or amend them or correct them. I think it's a little bit different situation with this, because the part of the minutes that are sought to be corrected were from a quasi judicial hearing. So I didn't go back and go through the minutes or the tape to listen to them to see if there was a correction or if there was something that was misstated in the minutes. So I didn't have any problems with the initial minutes, but again, I didn't pay all that much attention to the specifics of them, as Alderman Scannell obviously did. So any thoughts from anybody on?
I would ask staff, who's responsible to check and see those, what his, I guess is, what he says is different. Who's responsible to check and see that's in fact? Because aren't the minutes that we receive kind of a summation? It's not a word for word, like
Correct.
transcript.
So we do have for the quasi judicial portion of it, there is supposed to be a transcript, which is why we have it recorded, so that if we ever need to, we can have that transcribed. And so if this would not be used as part of the record, if this was ever appealed or anything, this would just be the minutes from what the meeting says. So yes, it's just a summation. Joe did go back and check. He confirmed that the summation of it is appropriate. There's nothing that's misrepresented. This is just an issue of whether or not it's accurate in both parties' minds. It's ultimately up to this group whether or not you're going to amend those.
Just, Joel, you went back and you verified what?
No, when I looked over the minutes and from watching the hearing and being here in person, I noticed it was more of a summary of it. It wasn't verbatim, word for word.
Right.
That's why I took it. So I think looking at these, this is more, I think, sometimes adding language. I know there's one that talks about there's a word before and the word after on one of the changes he had.
Right.
And I'd be honest, I didn't notice it. I didn't see that or not. And also sometimes with the testimony, sometimes the testimony they might have said before, but what actually happened might have been after. So I wasn't able to verify that one.
I'm almost thinking, and again, I'll throw this out, just my thoughts, and if you've got anything, staff or anybody else on the committee here, or the commission, is that we approve the minutes as presented and attach a copy of Alderman Scannell's comments to them and make that part of the record. You know, if there is an appeal and we have to go to a transcript, that'll control. But we're not making any changes other than what's come out of the summary, and we're noting for the record that he had comments requesting or observing things that should be changed. So it's part of the record.
Yeah, I would, if that's a motion, I would second that.
That's my motion. Any comments?
I-
That was his observations, we can put it into the record as part of the minutes, but we just simply stay with the minutes as a summary of what they are. And again, if we ever need to get to a transcript, we can always do that.
So we're approving the minutes as presented,
As it is.
and we're attaching his comment, but we're not approving his comment.
Right, they're just comments on the, because I didn't see any one of them, any one of the comments that went to a substantive issue. And the things that he was adding, I don't think would have changed our decision.
Right.
It doesn't really go to the heart of what the decision was. So, I'm reluctant to simply just change the minutes because he asked for them to be changed. But by the same token, he had some observations that I don't see any problem with including them in the record as his observations.
So we'll make it part of the record, but it's not replacing the minutes.
Then I would agree with that.
I agree with that.
All right, so there's a motion and a second to approve the minutes as originally presented with an attachment to those minutes of Alderman Scannell's comments and requested changes. And there's been a second to that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is item number 4, adoption of the findings of fact and conclusions of law in the matter of the ethics complaint against Alderman Randy Scannell, filed by Alderman Andy Nicholson under the City of Green Bay Code of Conduct for Elected Officials. You've been provided with a copy of the proposed findings of fact in your packet. Any questions, any comments from anybody?
I'd make a motion that we accept and sign the proposed findings of fact and conclusions of law as presented.
I had one
Okay?
grammatical change. It was in the third item under the conclusion. And if you read it, it should say evidence in the record to the TO find a violation of section 2B. That the word "to" is missing, so I would just propose that that be added to allow it to make more sense.
Is that same for the fourth one as well?
Oh, now I gotta look.
And for clarification, we will actually get you one that says findings of fact rather than proposed findings of fact.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, yeah, so then the same. So, is there a motion to approve? I'm sorry, Mark, you did make that motion.
And I'll second that with include the word "to" on it.
Okay.
Item 3 of the conclusions of law.
Right. Any further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, referral of findings of fact and conclusions of law from the complaint against Alderman Randy Scannell, filed by Alderman Andy Nicholson under the City of Green Bay Code of Ethics, or Code of Conduct for elected officials to the Common Council, with the recommendation that a formal censure be issued in this matter. Is there a motion to approve the referral? I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consideration with possible action on a request for confidential advisory opinion from employee pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.59 sub 5 and the Green Bay Municipal Code section 1.90 sub 9. We have the opportunity to go into closed session to discuss this if you'd like. We've received the opinion. Obviously, we referred this out for an opinion. The opinion has come in. It's confidential, so we can't really discuss it in open session. I didn't have any issue with it. We requested an opinion. We've got a legal opinion. My suggestion is that we accept it and place it on file and direct that it be referred to the requester.
I never received anything.
Oh. Okay.
No.
That's 3 of us. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we tried sending it encrypted, since
Okay.
it is confidential, and it appears that that created a snag. So
Oh.
we will get you, we have
Yeah.
a couple copies, if you guys want to take a look at it.
Okay.
Oh, wow, for a second I was like,
No.
screw something up. No.
I got mine, and the first time I opened it up, it opened up with the code. I went back to do it again, it wouldn't open it up again. But luckily, I printed it out the first time.
Thank you.
You must have a super secret computer.
Apparently.
Spatial touch.
Yeah. Any questions or comments?
We don't know who this is, right? We're not being told who's requesting this. That has no bearing on this.
Correct.
Okay. The answer seems pretty plain.
Again, we can't discuss it in public because of they have the right, any employee has the right to request a confidential opinion. And it obviously has to be kept confidential unless they authorize it to be released. So if that does not happen, we don't issue the opinion ourselves. We contract it out to have somebody take a look at it and provide us with an opinion. That's the opinion we've got, or we've received. So my thought is we accept and place on file.
If we receive and place on file, are we saying that we concur with this conclusion and then that's given to the, because someone's requesting our guidance. So if we receive and place on file, are we saying, to me, that always meant you're kind of putting it in the trash. If-
So rather than receive and place in file, you could accept the recommendation of, that's in the letter, and issue it to the employee confidential.
Sure.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we do that.
What she said.
What you said. I make a motion that we accept the conclusion by Boardman and Clark, and that we forward their conclusion to the employee that was requesting an opinion. And that we, by accepting this opinion, that's our same conclusion then. Okay.
We're accepting their opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item number 7, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Indeed. Motion to adjourn.
And I'll second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.